I was watching Tom Heaton's video the other day, his one about preparation. So I've done a huge amount of preparation for this trip. Essentially, I've charged the batteries, chucked the camera gear in the car and driven out to a place called Surprise View. I've never been here before, not quite sure how this light is working at the moment, but on the walk up from the car park there's a whole mini wood of rather delightful silver birch which were catching the light, the sunlight coming in from here. Absolutely beautiful, and with the heather in front and the vibrant green ferns, it made quite a nice picture. But I thought I'd better get a wriggle on. I believe Mark's here somewhere and I was going to go and say hello, but the reason for the trip is that thing there, which I believe is called Mothercap, although I could be wrong, because you know how bad my sense of direction is. But the heather, and again I think the light's just in the wrong place, the heather is just phenomenal. Everywhere you look there is just a superb carpet of purple. I don't know if this is going to pick it up. Yeah, everywhere. It really is absolutely breathtaking. So, fully prepared as I am, I'm going to hike on up to the top. This is, oh, I've disappeared again. This is me challenging myself to A, somewhere I've never been before, and B, to do a big landscape again, because I really need to improve. At this moment, I'm really not feeling it, although I have just seen something that's really made me smile, although how the hell you get down to it, God only knows. Right down the bottom here, I've just seen millstones. I like millstones. I really like millstones. But they're down there. So I think I might just walk back the way I've come and go have a look, see if I can come up with some sort of composition from down there. And yet again, I have smothered myself in my new best friend, which is, now I'm really not sure if we're meant to do this on YouTube. I can't tell you how good this stuff is. If you've tried everything else and it doesn't work, try Smidge. I have tried, believe me, I have tried absolutely everything, and this is phenomenal. So, right, I'll catch up with you guys in a bit. So I've made my way down from all the way up there, and I think this is focusing, just up there. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to get back up, but hey, because I spotted down here these delightful millstones. And there's actually 3 of them down here, and there's one just over there. But I was kind of drawn to this one because it's surrounded by the heather, and that leads you back to rather nice little copse of trees. And we actually did have, although you're going to struggle to see it now, a little bit of detail in the sky in the terms of clouds coming over. So I shot down and I kind of started here. I didn't like that because the heather doesn't come around here. So then I moved sort of to there, and that kind of pleased me a little bit more. And then I just moved essentially to where you can see the camera now. And to all intents and purposes, that's the shot. The sun is coming in from over here, and very inconsiderately it decided to go behind a bank of clouds just when I wanted to take a photo. But I waited and waited, and finally a little bit of light came through, just lit up the heather, just lit up the lovely silver birch trees in the background, using quite a fast shutter speed. Not as fast as I would have liked, but I've got a little bit of movement in the trees, which I don't mind because it is actually windy up here. So settings wise, we are on f13, ISO 200 and 1/4 of a second. Well, I'm just taking shelter behind some rocks because it is incredibly windy up here. It's making photography quite difficult because I can't keep the tripod as solid as I would like. It's phenomenal. This place is absolutely amazing. I somehow doubt you're going to see it because of how the light is, but it's just over here. It's just a complete mass of heather, glowing purple. It's absolutely phenomenal. And the same behind me. Yeah, again, it's really difficult to make out on here, but this whole area is just a carpet. You can tell how windy it is by my funky new hairdo. This to me is more of a sunrise place. We're starting to get a very small amount of colour just going on back here, but there is a huge swathe of cloud which is just blocking everything at the moment. So I've worked out a couple of compositions. I'll just take you for a little bit of a walkies that I quite like. Oh, and the place is heaving with photographers. It's photographer city, photographer paradise up here. So just behind me you may be able to make out a little path. There we go, get my hand in the right place, just leading you up through the heather to the lovely rock piles at the back. I'm sure there's a technical name for them other than rock piles. But then I have a problem because I've got a huge bank of grey cloud and then a lovely bright white sky, which isn't really doing much at all. The sun is disappearing over there, and yeah, this is going to be phenomenal for sunrise. I have half a mind to come back up here tomorrow. The other composition I've got is not dissimilar to that. Mark's just doing a shot down there at the moment. Sorry, I keep disappearing because I keep walking into the light. I'll just show you down here. Just about, whoops, where you see Mark stood, the bright red jacket. There's a little path that leads you through, whoops, up there, and leads you through the heather. And we're actually getting a bit of cloud detail. So I'll be back. We just had a mad dash back to the car because the rain was coming in over the hills. We could see in the distance it was sweeping through the valley, and we thought, about to get wet, so let's pack up and go. The heather is just phenomenal, and the amount of millstones I've seen tonight has been a absolutely brilliant recce. And I'm torn about coming back here tomorrow morning or going off to at least 2 other places that I can think of. But yeah, it's been a really good jaunt up there. I've not been here before, There's so much foreground interest that it's one of those places that just blows my mind. There's so many stones, rocks, there's little pools of water on some of the rocks which make a nice little bit of foreground interest. We weren't blessed with the sky, we weren't blessed with the sunset, but hey, you're not going to get it all the time, but it's still good to go out, look at composition so that when the weather is correct, when the weather is good and what you're after, you can go back and you know what it is you're going to do when you get there. So yeah, it's been a good trip. Nice to catch up with Mark again. Good morning! Well, for once I've actually done what I said I was going to do, and I have dragged myself out of bed at 4:30 and come back out to Hathersage and surprise you. Forgot where I was then. I was really hoping there was going to be a little bit of mist in the valley bottom, but as you can see down there, not a scrap of mist, but there's lots less wind than yesterday. It's milder, and as you could just see, the sun is just popping its head above the horizon back there. So I've walked up to the top, and there's 6 photographers at Mother Cap, which I thought this was Mother Cap. It's not, it's further up there I think. But they're all lined up in a row and shooting straight into the sun. It's not my cup of tea, that. So I've wandered back down. I did have a composition in mind at the bottom using one of the millstones, and I'm going to go back to that. I don't like shooting into the sun because I can't do it. So what I'm hoping is, my cunning plan is that bit of sun is going to light up all this heather and put some gorgeous light on this outcrop of rocks here. I've got a little pathway leading through the heather to lead you into it, and we've actually got a bit of cloud movement going on up there, and with a bit of luck, I'm really lucky, I think I might be pushing it a little bit, some of the cloud in the distance, some of that up there, might catch some of the sun. So that's my cunning plan. I've had a bit of a faff around with the setup, and I am shooting at f/16, 1/1/3 of a second. I just have a 0.6 ND on, just to even it out a little bit. And ISO's back down to 100. Because whilst that is beautiful, you can see the glare I'm getting on the phone, and I get that on the camera, and I haven't quite figured out how to avoid it. It's something about moving the f-stop up to about f/22 to get that lovely little starburst that everybody seems to get except me. So I'm going to stay here, see if I can get some light on this, which I think the sun's not quite high enough at the moment. Give it a few more minutes and we should get some nice light on that. And then I might just wander down to the millstone, because again that's surrounded by heather, and we should get some nice light on it. It'll give me a slightly different view down the valley. Well, I think I've had quite a successful morning. As I say, it's a place I've never been to, and the possibilities seem to be endless. You have a huge amount of rocks and odd rock formations at the top. You have millstones. There are 2 mini woods of silver birch, which are absolutely delightful when the sun hits on the bark. And then as I was coming out, I noticed this, I don't know if you can see this absolutely huge carpet of heather. And dotted around, such as just there, are silver birch trees that are on their own, so you can isolate them from the rest of the trees that are about. Particularly this one, it's got a lovely little path leading up to it. So yeah, I've spent half an hour or so mooching around here, using the 70-200, shooting wide open at f2.8, to keep my shutter speed up, because the breeze is blowing and I really wanted the trees to be still. I'm still getting the beautiful purple of the heather, and then when the light hits the trees, you've got purple, you've got the silver bark, and then you've got the vibrant green leaves on the trees. It's absolutely awesome. Definitely a place I want to return to. I'm hoping if we get a winter this year, then snow and frost up here, particularly up the top with the rock formations where you'll get puddles of water freezing over on a sunrise morning. That would be incredible. I bumped into David Ball while I was here. So hi David, David Ball Photography. Nice to finally put a face to the name. Good to chat. See you again sometime. Now, much as I'm tempted to carry on walking up there and go over the lump at the top, I'm actually quite hungry. It's about 9 o'clock and people are starting to turn up. A dozen or so hikers have walked past me already. So I think it's time to call it a day. Go home, have a cup of tea and some breakfast. So once again guys, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed my ramblings from somewhere new. Something a little bit different than seascapes for me. Not any water to be seen. Not even falling out of the sky, which was a bonus. So thanks for watching, take care, see you soon.